It just makes me so happy every year to come back here again to this beautiful gathering.
Svake godine sam presretan što mogu doći ponovno na ovo mjesto, na ovo predivno okupljanje.
I want to thank first of all in a special way Father Marinko.
Prije svega i na poseban način zahvaljujem Fra Marinku
For all his support so many years now.
za njegovu podršku tijekom tolikih godina.
And the support of this whole parish means so much to me.
Podršku koju dobivamo od cijele ove župe, to mi jako puno znači.
I also want to thank all you young people that I've spent the last few days with.
Isto tako želim zahvaliti svima vama mladima s kojima sam proveo ovih nekoliko dana.
You inspire me. You remind me how to live our faith with joy.
Vi ste za mene inspiracija, podsjećate me kako se živi vjeru s radošću.
Somebody asked me this morning what my age was, and it took me a long time to remember I was 54 because I thought I was 18 or something.
Netko me je pitao jutros koliko imam godina i trebalo mi je vremena da zbrojim. Imam 54, a mislio sam da imam 18.
And most of all, I just want to start by thanking God.
Ali prije svega, najprije, želim zahvaliti Bogu.
For the grace He continues to pour out in this place.
Za milosti koje nastavlja izlijevati na ovome mjestu.
I thank Him for sending us His mother all these years.
Zahvaljujem mu što nam šalje svoju majku sve te godine.
We need her more than ever.
Trebamo je više nego ikad.
I think many of you know now that Mary's Meals, this work of love, is a fruit of Međugorje.
Mnogi od vas u međuvremenu znaju da su Mary's Meals, Marini obroci, to dijelo ljubavi, plod Međugorja.
It is a fruit of prayer.
To je plod molitve.
And it is a simple, practical work of love.
I to je jednostavno, praktično dijelo ljubavi.
The work of Mary's Meals consists of lots of us around the world walking together.
Ono što Mary's Meals čini, to je da mnogi od nas širom svijeta hodaju zajedno.
That's why so many of us like to come on the stage together now.
Zato volimo doći ovako pred oltar u ovako velikom broju.
Because in Mary's Meals we know that on our own we can't do very much.
Jer mi u Mary's Mealsu znamo da svatko pojedinačno ne može mnogo.
But when we put all these little things that we can do together,
ali kad stavimo zajedno sve te male stvari,
it is making this beautiful gift for God.
Onda to postaje prekrasan dar za Boga.
This work that we do is to provide one good meal every day.
Naš rad se sastoji u tome da svaki dan osiguramo jedan dobar obrok
to the world's poorest children.
Najsiromašnije od djece svijeta.
We always serve that meal in school.
Taj obrok uvijek poslužujemo u školi.
So that we meet the immediate need of the hungry child for food.
Tako da zadovoljimo neposrednu potrebu gladnog djeteta za hranom.
But at the same time, by serving in school, we enable them to gain an education.
A time što obrok poslužujemo u školi, mi im omogućujemo da dobiju obrazovanje.
And we see that education can set them free from poverty.
I vidimo da ih obrazovanje može osloboditi siromaštva.
Even since we gathered last year, this work of Mary's Meals has grown again.
Od kad smo se prošle godine ovdje sastali, dijelo Marijinih obroka je opet dalje naraslo.
And today I'm very, very full of joy to tell you that today 2,279,941 children are eating Mary's Meals
I danas sam
every day.
sretan što vam mogu reći da svakoga dana 2.279.941 dijete prima obrok u školi.
Each of those meals is cooked and served by local volunteers as an act of love.
Svaki obrok pripremaju i poslužuju mjesni volonteri kao djelo ljubavi, kao čin ljubavi.
And as much as possible, those meals consist of locally grown food.
I koliko god je moguće, ti obroci se sastoje od namirnica koje su izrasle lokalno.
Last year, a group of us came back here to Međugorje just to spend some days in prayer for Mary's Meals.
Prošle godine nekolicina nas došla je ovamo provesti nekoliko dana u molitvi za Mary's Meals.
Father Frankie, who is here today, was giving us a talk.
Otac Frankie, koji je danas ovdje s nama, održao nam je predavanje.
At one point he asked a question.
U jednom trenutku postavio nam je pitanje.
He said, who was the first child that ate Mary's meals?
Pitao je, a ko je prvo dijete koje je primilo Marijin obrok?
I was sitting there thinking back to the first school 20 years ago that we served meals in.
Ja sam se prisjetio prve škole u kojoj smo prije 20 godina poslužili obroke.
Trying to remember the names of the children.
Pokušao sam se sjetiti imena te djece.
And then Father Frankie said, it was Jesus, of course.
A onda nam je Father Frankie rekao, ali to je bio Isus, naravno.
Of course it was.
Naravno, to je bio on.
It made me feel a little bit silly.
I osjećao sam se malo smiješno.
But there was also a beautiful reminder.
Ali to je i prekrasan podsjetnik.
A reminder that every one of those children that we are feeding today is Jesus.
Da podsjetnik na to da svako dijete koje danas hranimo zapravo je Isus.
Today in this troubled world, more people than ever are hungry.
Danas u ovom nemirnom svijetu ima gladnih više nego ikada.
In fact, 1 in 9 people in the world today are suffering hunger.
Zapravo 1 od 9 ljudi na svijetu trpi glad.
This in a world where there is more than enough food for all of us.
I to u jednom svijetu u kojem ima dovoljno hrane za sve nas.
This hunger that is taking the lives of so many children.
Od gladi umiru tolika djeca.
It's an outrage that's crying out for every follower of Jesus to act.
To je uvreda, to je sablazan koja viče i poziva svakog od nas na djelovanje.
Yes, of course we should pray for the hungry.
Naravno, moramo moliti za gladne.
But then we need to act.
Ali moramo i djelovati.
Those hungry children, they can't just be forgotten like they don't matter.
Ne možemo jednostavno zaboraviti tu gladnu djecu kao da su nebitni.
God did not create them for that.
Bog ih nije za to stvorio.
He sees them.
On ih vidi.
He hears them.
On ih čuje.
He knows each of them by name.
On svakoga od njih zna po imenu.
Recently I visited an area called Turkana in Kenya.
Nedavno sam posjetio jedno područje zvano Turkana u Keniji.
The situation there today is very desperate.
Situacija tamo danas je očajna.
I spent a day with a farmer called Ekai.
Proveo sam dan s jednim farmerom koji se zove Ekai.
And his small son called Ila.
I s njegovim malim sinom koji se zove Ila.
I don't think I will ever forget their names.
Mislim da nikad neću zaboraviti njihova imena.
They were herding their goats looking for water.
Pasli su svoje koze u potrazi za vodom.
Ila had dropped out of school because of hunger.
Ilon je prestao ići u školu zbog gladi.
It was over 2 years since it had rained in their village.
U njihovom selu 2 godine nije pala ni kap kiše.
Their animals had already begun to die.
Životinje su im počele umirati.
And Ikai, the father, told me that he knew his people were going to start dying soon also.
A otac Ikai mi je rekao da zna da će njegovi ljudi uskoro početi umirati.
This is the reality that many millions of people are facing in the world today.
To je stvarnost s kojom se suočavaju milijuni ljudi danas u svijetu.
I like the fact that this big number of children that we feed every day, it ends in the number 1.
Sviđa mi se činjenica da broj djece koju u ovom trenutku hranimo završava s brojem 1.
Because the number's nice, but actually this work isn't really about big numbers.
Jer lijepi su brojevi, ali u ovom radu ne tražimo brojke.
It's about one hungry child with a name.
Mi mislimo na jedno gladno dijete koje ima svoje ime.
It's like that with all you young people here as well.
Tako je i sa svima vama mladima ovdje.
You are known by God.
Bog vas pozna.
He sees you.
On vas vidi.
He knows your name.
On vas zna po imenu.
And I pray these days that you come to know that even more deeply.
I ovih dana molim da to spoznate na još dublji način.
That he loves you.
Da vas on ljubi.
That he will never let you go.
Da vas nikad neće napustiti.
When we say that Mary's Meals is a work of love,
kad kažemo da su Marijini obroci dijelo ljubavi,
we are talking about a love that is received and given.
Govorimo o ljubavi koja se prima i daje.
We can only love because God loved us first.
Mi možemo ljubiti samo zato što je Bog prvi ljubio nas.
And that's why we know this work has to stay rooted in prayer.
I zato znamo da ovo naše djelo mora ostati ukorijenjeno u molitvi.
I think our Blessed Mother has come here all these years just to let us know this.
Mislim da Gospa dolazi ovamo sve ove godine kako bi nam pomogla to spoznati.
To know that God exists.
Znati da Bog postoji.
And that we are loved by him.
I da nas on ljubi.
And taking part in a work like Mary's Meals.
Sudjelovati u djelu kao što su Marijini obroci, Mary's Meals.
We point to his love.
Mi ukazujemo na njegovu ljubav.
We point to Jesus.
Ukazujemo na Isusa.
So I thank you with all my heart for so many of you for supporting this work.
Zahvaljujem iz dubine srca tolikima od vas koji podržavaju ovo naše djelo.
For sharing your gifts so that all these children might eat.
Hvala vam što dijelite svoje darove kako bi ta djeca mogla jesti.
I extend an invitation to all of you maybe who aren't involved in this work yet.
I pozivam sve vas koji možda još niste uključeni u to djelo.
Please join this Mary's Meals family.
Molim vas, pridružite se obitelji Marijinih obroka.
All of us can do something.
Svatko od nas može nešto učiniti.
Our Lady invites us to be apostles of love.
Gospa nas poziva da budemo apostoli ljubavi.
And apostles of peace.
I apostoli mira.
It struck me recently when I was in Kenya.
Kad sam nedavno bio u Keniji, pogodilo me je
that in the areas where we serve Mary's Meals,
da u onom kraju u kojem poslužujemo Marijine obroke,
there is evidence that there is more peace.
Očito je da je veći mir.
Because hunger causes so much conflict.
Jer glad izaziva tolike sukobe.
It causes so much violence.
Izaziva toliko nasilja.
It causes war.
Izaziva rat.
So I hope also in our small way, Mary's Meals is helping Our Lady's plan for peace.
Tako da se nadam da Mary's Meals na svoj mali način pomaže Gospinom planu mira.
So when Our Lady invites us to be apostles of love, of peace,
I kad nas Gospa poziva da budemo apostoli ljubavi i mira,
taking part in this work is one way to say yes.
Sudjelovanje u ovome dijelu je jedan od načina da se kaže da.
And so please, let's keep going forward.
I zato molim vas, idemo dalje naprijed.
In joy.
S radošću.
One child at a time.
Jedno po jedno dijete.
Pointing to Jesus as we go.
Ukazujući na Isusa dok idemo naprijed.
A moment ago I mentioned Kenya and the need there.
Malo prije sam spomenuo Keniju.
And it makes me so happy that today we have a very special guest with us.
I sretan sam što danas imamo vrlo posebnu gošću.
Amina is a very courageous leader of our work in Kenya.
Amina je vrlo hrabra voditeljica našeg dijela u Keniji.
She has traveled all this way just to be with us these days.
Iz Kenije je doputovala samo da bi bila s nama ovih dana.
And so it gives me great joy to invite her to speak to you a little bit about our work here.
Jako se veselim što mogu dati riječ da vam nešto govori o našem dijelu.
Thank you.
Hvala vam.